Welcome to the Graduate Job Podcast, your home for weekly information and inspiration to help you get the graduate job of your dreams.
Hello and welcome to the Graduate Job Podcast with your host, James Curran. The Graduate Job Podcast is your weekly home for all things related to helping you on your journey to finding that amazing job. Each week I bring together the best minds in the industry, speaking to leading authors, entrepreneurs, coaches and bloggers who bring decades of experience into a bite-sized weekly 30-minute show. Put simply, this is a show I wish I had a decade ago when I graduated. This week I have a very special guest. I'm joined by award-winning fashion blogger and social media manager Tamara McCleary, who shares her inspirational story of how she landed a dream job with the help of her fashion blog Bonafide Supernova. In this half hour, Tamara details the background to her blog, how it has grown and led to her current job. She also shares top tips for what you need to do if you want to start your own blog as well. No matter where you are on your job search, this is an episode you won't want to miss. Now, I wanted to get Tamara on the show for a while and share her story of how, as a recent graduate, she utilised her blog to land her dream job. Because over the last 48 episodes, many of my guests have extolled the virtues of starting a blog. From Sarah Stimson in episode 7 talking about it in relation to getting a job in PR, to Matt Herndon recently who had it as one of his 18 ways to get a graduate job in episode 39. While with Chris Marr in episode 40, we devoted an entire episode to content marketing and the benefits of blogging. I know though that there's a large gap between someone suggesting that you should start a blog, to processing it internally and then agreeing that yes, that sounds sensible, to then actually putting fingers on the keyboard, typing away and starting one for yourself. So I wanted to share Tamara's story to give you a real life example to show that with dedication and hard work, this does work. To show you how she did it and continues to do it to massive success. I hope it inspires you to do the same maybe. Before we start though, as always, all links to everything we discuss and a full transcript are available in the show notes at graduatejobpodcast.com/supernova, which is SUPERNOVA. Also, a quick request from me. If you are finding this show at all useful, the best way to show your thanks is by completing my super quick survey at graduatejobpodcast.com/survey. Your feedback helps me to create the episode you want to hear, and it also lets me know the shows you'd like to see and how I can best serve your needs. It's got 5 questions and it'll take you just a minute, so please check it out at graduatejobpodcast.com/survey. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, but in the meantime, let's crack on with the show. I'm very pleased to welcome Tamara McCleary to the show. Tamara is a social media and marketing guru. She works at Yawn London and Bureau Creative, and more importantly for today, managing director of award-winning fashion blog Bonafide Supernova. Tamara, welcome to the Graduate Job Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on the show, and at the end of each of my episodes, I ask each of my guests one tip that graduates can implement today, and 2 of my recent guests, Chris Marr and Matt Herndon, both said that their tip was to start a blog. And now you did just that, and today we're going to explore your brilliant, award-winning fashion blog, Bonafide Supernova. So to kick us off, Tamara, would you like to tell us more about the blog and what it is that you do?
So, yes, in my 9-to-5 job, I work as a social media manager, and then on the side, me and my friend Sam run a blog together, and within that blog, we have different contributing writers, different contributing photographers and stuff, who all have their creative input. So we like to think of it as a collective, but me and Sam are the kind of the main ones that run it, but we have all different people that contribute to it as well, so it's a nice team effort.
Super. How long has the blog been going now?
I think it's since October 2013, so it's been going for quite a while. It's been going for a long while, because it originally started when me and Sam went to the same uni. We both went to Birmingham City University originally, and that's where we met, so it's been going for a while. I know a lot of people start blogs now, but I suppose blogging's been around for many years now, so it feels like a while to us, but some people started blogs 10 years ago, so I suppose it's not that long ago.
No, but as you said, lots of people, there's all blogs throwing up all the time, so it's a consistency that really gets you noticed. And so why did you start the blog in the first place?
So what happened was Sam started the blog because it was like a uni project. That was the original reason. And then afterwards, so Sam's a bit older than me, then afterwards I came to Birmingham City Uni and joined. And it originally started as like a uni thing, and then it just really rocketed from there. And it was something that we both decided to keep up because after uni finished, it made sense to not just do it as, you know, a piece of coursework. It made sense to just keep it.
And back in the early days, how often were you putting content out there?
Probably, well, because there's all different people that contribute, I'd say we would have posts up at least minimum once a week, and we definitely now would have at least 2 a month. So I'd say it's very consistent. I think that's really important if you're going to start a blog, to be consistent.
And would you have described yourself as tech savvy when you started the blog, or is it something that you've learned as you've gone along with Sam?
Well, it was definitely learning as I go along. So I've always been really kind of brand focused, good at the brand relationships, outfit kind of posts. And Sam's a lot more technical. She's a lot more like, she's good at the coding and like putting things together in terms of like the layout and the widgets and stuff. But as we've gone along, she's taught me things and I've taught her things. So I'd say not necessarily completely tech savvy, but we've definitely learned as we've gone along, because it's visually it's so important. But what we've been quite lucky is we've had a really good team. So we've had really good graphic designers, photographers, and other people that have really helped us along to make it look really nice. So I think definitely you should try and be tech savvy, but if you can't do certain things, then build a strong team around you that can help contribute to making it a success.
That's great advice. And has the blog has the sort of the nature of it evolved over time, or has it always stayed consistent to its fashion origins?
So yeah, so the main I suppose the main part of the blog is fashion. That's something that me and Sam are both interested in, but we each have different. We both have different interests. So Sam's really businessy. She's really into that side of things. So like business, enterprise. I'm really into fashion. We have other bloggers on there that are into beauty. So it's a mix of things, but the main theme is fashion, but there's all different stems of it, because it was originally, the original concept is the idea that it's a collective. So it's not just centered on fashion, but that is definitely a main part for it.
How has so the blog's been going for over 3 years, coming to 3 years now, and you said you started at a uni. When did you really start to get traction and the readers coming to the blog?
Well, the hits have continuously gone up as we've got more exposure, because originally, so when the blog first started, like things like Instagram and that kind of thing, people weren't really. Now it's a bit different, because like obviously Instagram is kind of like a lot bigger than what it was originally. So what we used to focus on was really getting hits on the blog, whereas now it's a bit more about trying to build a social media following, and then using the social media platforms to kind of get more and more hits. But I suppose it's just sometimes I do wonder where people find out about us, where it all comes from, because it's only now where we've really implemented like a proper social media strategy. We didn't really used to have one before, but people seem to be going on the blog. But both me and Sam, we lived in different cities like Nottingham, Derby, Birmingham. Sam moved to Africa, I moved to London. So we're not just online people, we're very active offline. So we'll go to events, we'll meet people, we'll talk to people, and we'll get the word out that way. So I suppose that's definitely helped the hits go up. It's not just about hiding behind a computer screen. You have to go out and be the face and talk to people and network outside of an online platform.
Has it been continuous, or have there been any big events where there've been really big spikes and you've suddenly seen massive interest in the site?
London Fashion Week, we always get more hits around there because it's quite exclusive and it's live. So obviously people can't just, it's it's not one of those things that you can kind of go anywhere to get that information. So we do see a spike around those times because obviously people want to know about the exclusivity. They want to see what's happening live. They want to hear what's happening. So we're very quick to publish posts very quickly around Fashion Week. So we definitely see a spike during those times.
And could you give us an indication of just how many readers you tend to get for the blog?
So the blog's been read in over 97 countries, and we usually get around 17,000 hits a month. So we get a good,
wow.
Yeah, we get a good traction to it.
That's amazing. That's really good. And how many did you get back at the beginning when you first started out?
So it's definitely gradually built. So it's probably gone from about 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and it's just kept going up. But the social media thing, because we've put in a proper strategy now, that's definitely helped. Having it in all our bios. It's in my bio, it's in Sam's bio, it's on the blog, Instagram, and because we have different writers who are like tweeting out articles, putting links into the blog, sending it out to their friends, putting it on their platforms. That's definitely helped it build. It's just about putting it out there. There's no point doing blog posts if you're not gonna let people know that they're there.
Yeah, and that's a great plug. You can find everything that we're talking about today, including a full transcript and link, of course, to Tamara's blog at graduatejobpodcast.com/supernova, and you'll be able to find everything that we've talked about. So, having started at the beginning, Tamara, were there any points when you weren't getting the readers and you thought about quitting, or were there any dips you went through, or has it just been plain sailing all the way?
No. I think at one point me and Sam felt a bit like, because like I said, I originally said 2013, but it was actually before then. I got a bit mixed up. So when we originally started it, like I said, Instagram and stuff wasn't like a thing. Like it wasn't the way it is now. It was more about getting readers onto your blog. So when things like Instagram and stuff came along and there was all these people kind of hot on social media, that did make us think a bit, okay, we need to step our game up a bit more now, because there's more people blogging and there's different platforms that people are using. But because when we started, that wasn't like one of the main platforms, the bloggers. So we had to adapt to the blogging landscape and change. So we never thought about quitting, or we never thought like, oh no, we just thought, okay, we need to adapt to what's going on around us. So no, definitely not quitting, more like stepping your game up and just being aware and moving at the right pace.
Oh, brilliant! And how important has it been that you're blogging about a topic which you're passionate about?
Oh, really important. I think people can definitely tell if you're just talking about something that you're not really interested in. Like we like to pride ourselves on kind of like creating interesting content. So it's not just about makeup and fashion and stuff. We like to talk about whether it's sexism in the fashion industry, or like body image, race, just arts and culture, anything. So we don't want to kind of just be a blog that just talks about stuff that we're not interested in, because I think then it shows as well in the writing, and it just, to me, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, and you talk about on your Twitter, you talk about how you're 9 to 5. During the day you're social media manager, and in the evening you're award-winning blogger. How have you been able to juggle both of these two aspects?
So it's not been that difficult, because naturally I'm very go, very busy, very like to stay occupied. I'm quite hard working, so it's not really been a juggle. It's just been something that I'm quite used to, and my job kind of merges in really nicely with being a blogger, because at work I do a lot of blogger outreach, I do blogger events, so I'm very much and I write for the company blog as well, so I'm very much within the same kind of world, just more on a client like company basis, whereas obviously when I'm blogging for myself, it's for me. So it doesn't feel like as much of a juggle, because it's not like I'm doing something that's completely my job as a social media manager is very much similar to a lot of the stuff that I do for the blog. So it doesn't feel like much of a juggle. It just feels like one thing I'm doing for myself and the other thing I'm doing at work, if that makes sense.
And no, that completely makes sense. And when you started the blog, did you see it as a means to ultimately helping you to get work in the field that you're interested in, or was it just initially a passion project which has evolved and led on to the work you're doing now?
So my initial, when I met Sam, my initial thoughts, because our course, we were on, Sam's older than me, but we were on, we did the same course at uni, and my initial reason for wanting to join up with Sam was because I wanted to get a job in PR at the end of it, and I knew that by blogging and stuff, you get in that world and you get in those contacts and you're getting that experience. So my original reason was I knew that would help me get a job in PR. So that was my original thought.
How did the blog help with getting your current job? Did they approach you, or did you apply for it in the normal way, but just had this as to be able to show them that, this is what I can do and this is what I do on the side?
So it helped massively. And winning the award helped a lot as well. But before that, when I was at uni, I often had recruiters contact me and stuff, and that was all because of being out there, having the blog, being out there, putting the posts out there, being on social media, doing my LinkedIn, doing all that kind of stuff. It's that made recruiters and stuff contact me, and I did apply for this job, the job that I have now. I applied for it the normal way, but definitely 100%. The blog helps so much, especially for my field of work, because I do a lot of the brand relationships within the blog, and I do a lot of collaborations with brands. Anything that's like client-based, brands, advertising, PR, social media, a blog will help massively with kind of trying to secure those kind of jobs. It's like having a portfolio of work, basically.
Yeah, no, and you look at the list of companies that you've worked with, and you've got press in, looking your brand ambassador for Vice magazine. You've been in Vogue, Glamour, MTV Style. You worked with brands from Adidas, Nike, ASOS. Did you go out proactively looking for those companies, or did those companies see the blog and come to you?
So some of it was reactive, some of it was from just working really hard. I think me and Sam are both really good at having a niche. Both of us are quite, well, I think so. Both of us in our personal style and just in general, in terms of the blogging landscape, we can be quite niche, and we both have the media background, and we're quite creative. So that meant a lot of brands wanted to work with us and kind of came to us because brands like that, like creative people. So some of it was reactive, some of it was proactive. I often pitched brands that I like, but a lot of it came from just like hard work, and then that got us noticed and building the right relationships. When I started working with Vice, then the Adidas opportunity came up and stuff like that. So it's just about building the right relationships and moving in the right circles and just staying true to like your brand message and your audience, and making that really clear. And if the brand fits in with your blog, then they will want to work with you.
I love that you said the main thing is hard work, because people expect you to just say there's some magic formula where if you just do this one thing, then you're suddenly going to go really big. But just hearing that it just takes work and work and work and more work to get you there is it's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give people who wanted to start their own blog? So
practical tips, I would say choose the right platform. I think WordPress, Squarespace, those kind of platforms are quite good. Buy your own domain name if you can. It looks a lot more professional than whatever Blogspot or whatever.
Definitely.
So I'd say that as practical tips, and like just get on YouTube and have a look at how to do like the basics of coding. Or if you don't have someone, like say I'm not as good at I'm not as good at coding as Sam is. So if you're going to partner up with someone, then find someone who's got different skills to you, because then you can really merge them together. So yeah, do a few YouTube tutorials, get your head around the technical parts. They would be my practical skills. And obviously just, if you're going to do it, you need to be consistent. Otherwise, people won't come back and you won't get the readership.
It's a really good point. And it's the same with the podcast. You just need to try and get episodes out as regularly as I can, which can be a challenge sometimes. So you talked about the different having a social media strategy. What platforms do people need to be on to get their message out? What would you recommend? You talked about Instagram as one of them. What else? What other platforms would there be?
I think if you're going to be a blogger, you definitely need Instagram. That's the first one. We have a Facebook page, but it's a bit more difficult now because there's a lot of advertising, sponsored posts, etc. It's a lot more expensive on Facebook. So say if you're just starting out, you should definitely get on Instagram and get on Twitter, because they're a lot more cost efficient and you can get your message out. A lot of bloggers now use Snapchat as well. If you're going to have that kind of younger audience, like our audience is 18 to 35, so that kind of platform will work well. If you're a little bit older, Snapchat might not work as well, but definitely Instagram. If you're going to get a blog, it needs to be a nice visual feed.
That's really good advice. And where do you see the blog going over the next 5 years? Where would you like to take it?
So for me, there's still a list of brands that I would like to work with, and for me, the thing that I find most rewarding is working with I like working with the small brands, of course, but what I find rewarding is working with the big brands and kind of the brands that you grow up around and you either aspire to have or you follow. Or for me, that's kind of the direction that I'd like to see it going in. Sam is more, like I said, business based, so definitely kind of, because we also do events as well, so kind of pushing it more into that direction, the collective, and it kind of being like a collective and under an umbrella of different things, and kind of pushing the PR side and our kind of actual skills and kind of making it more of a business base. So yeah, that's kind of the two directions I see it going in.
You've talked a lot about working with Sam. Would you recommend for people starting a blog to partner with somebody, or is it something that you can just go off and do by yourself?
You can do it by yourself, definitely, but I think that's very particular, like, because certain people you can work with and it can go totally wrong. You'd either be in competition with each other, or sometimes it just doesn't work out. So I think finding the right partner, if you find the right partner, then yeah. But sometimes it doesn't work out like that. I think me and Sam have been very lucky because our skills match, like sort of like a jigsaw piece. We're not exactly the same, but the skills that we do have, when they merge together, it's really, really good. But I suppose if you go with someone who kind of, and it's not that scenario, then you might as well just do it on your own. But it does definitely help having a partner, I think, because you get more done, and I think that's one of the reasons why the blog's been a success, is because we're both working on different things for it. So we're getting more work done and we're getting more mileage out of it because, well, we're a bigger team. We're two brains instead of one, basically.
No, of course. And you talked about the team of people that you have contributing. Do they tend to rotate, or do you have the same people who contribute material all the time?
So they rotate usually, because we have a lot of people. We have a lot of students, like fashion students, and it's good for them because they get the experience. They get it for their CV, for their LinkedIn. It's good experience for them. They get to go to events, and then a lot of them have gone on to get full-time jobs and stuff. So then after that, they may leave, and then we get new people in. But we've had a lot of people that have stayed with us for a while. So we have writers that have been with us for a few years. So it depends really, but it's usually a rotation of different people coming in, which is nice because it's different voices. And whoever leaves always goes on to, I can definitely say, people that we've had, they've always gone on to do really great things.
And for the first time in 48 episodes, we had technical trouble and the recording died. and unfortunately I missed the last few minutes of my chat with Tamara. It did kick in again though, you'll be pleased to hear, so let's rejoin it just as we get to the weekly staple questions. What website would you recommend that our listeners should visit?
So recently I signed up to a website called makelight.io, which is, if you sign up to it, they send you like a free online course to your email, which is how to take beautiful photographs for Instagram and how to grow your online audience. So I did that about 2 days ago, and I've just had a few of the emails come through. Recently I've been signing up to a lot of like free online courses. And if you use Facebook, if you sign up to them, Facebook will then start to suggest more to you through like their sponsored ads, so you can see more relevant ones. So I'd say, yeah, if you want to be like proactive, go to makelight.io. That's good for like Instagram. Learn how to take nice photos for Instagram.
Brilliant. I might have to check that one out myself. And finally, what advice would you give listeners that they can implement today to help their job search?
Get experience. Your degree and stuff is important, but definitely get experience. I can't stress it enough. So many people like wait till they finish uni and then think, oh, I'm gonna go and do this internship now, or I'm gonna start a blog now, or I'm gonna get work experience now. Like as soon as you are able to, start getting experience, do it, because that's the thing that's going to get you ahead. Don't be waiting around and just thinking that your degree or your grade is going to get you to where you need to be. You need to have experience as well. So I think definitely do something. Start doing stuff straight away as early as you can, because in the end, it will all pay off.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you so much for appearing on the Graduate Job Podcast. Before we finish, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you and the work that you do?
So you can follow me on Instagram, which is Tamara Sweetheart, or you can follow me on Twitter, which is @_Tamara MC. And then obviously if you visit the blog, my contact details are on there as well.
Tamara, thank you so much for appearing on the Graduate Job Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed the episode today with the brilliant Tamara McCleary. Lots of things stood out for me. I loved her comment when I asked her if she ever wanted to quit, and she said no. It just pushed her to up her game. What a comment. As the late great Jim Rohn said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. I also love the fact that the blog was part of a concerted plan that she had. She knew why she was doing it. The ultimate aim was to help her get a job in PR. And hasn't it just? As she said, recruiters are coming to her with jobs. Not a bad position to be in. If you have that why, it will give you a reason to keep going when it gets hard. Check out my interview with Brad Burton in episode 20, who goes into detail on the importance of having a why. I have a 3-minute video on YouTube of it, which I'll link to in the show notes, which is well worth a listen. My final point is on passion. If this has got you motivated to start a blog, podcast, or whatever it might be, make sure you go for a topic which really inspires you, the one you get excited about, the one which you spend your time talking about with your friends until they start to roll their eyes. If it's something you love writing or talking about, as it clearly is with fashion for Tamara, it will never feel like work, which will always help when the going gets tough, as it always invariably will. So there you go, episode 46 finished. For everything that we've discussed today, all links and a full transcript go to the show notes at graduatejobpodcast.com/supernova. And also, don't forget to say hello to Tamara on Twitter. Her handle is @_Tamara MC. And if fashion and writing is your thing, get in touch and write for Bonafide Supernova. Who knows where it will take you. As I mentioned at the beginning, check out my survey at graduatejobpodcast.com/survey. It will make me a happy man. Make sure you check out my episode next week when I have Josh Doody, who's talking about fearless salary negotiation. It's a cracker. I hope you enjoyed the episode today, though, but more importantly, I hope you use it and apply it. See you next week.